call the meeting to order. All rise and salute the flag, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May let the record show that Selectman Vizzano is absent, all other selectmen are present. Item C, consent agenda warrant number 16 dated 12/17, number 17 dated 12/17, payroll registers number 50, 12/13/18, number 51, 12/20 of 18, number 52, 12/28 of 18, and number 1/13/19.
Move to accept.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the warrants and payroll registers. Any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? All in favor is the vote. Acceptance of the meeting minutes from December 17th. I trust you all had time to read them. Any questions, comments?
Move to accept.
Got a motion and a second to accept the minutes of the meeting. Any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? All in favor, it is the vote. Old business, Mr. Moody.
None for me, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Elias.
None.
Mr. Savage. And none for me. Items of communications, John Mayor.
It's been pretty quiet, just a couple of things to pass along to you. All of the briefs and statements and replies and rebuttals on the Madison paper abatement case have been submitted by both sets of attorneys. So those are now before the State Board of Property Tax Review. And right now, all the conversation is ended and closed. So there'll be no more from our attorney, no more from their attorney. The State Board will set a date, hopefully sometime in late January, early February, where they will have an open session of deliberation where we should go and attend, and I'll be there with our attorney, and really anybody that's welcome. It's a public deliberation. However, we can't say anything. So their lawyers can't say anything, our lawyers can't say anything. It's public deliberation and they make their ruling. So my hope is within the next 30 days, we'll have an answer and know where we stand on this abatement case. So that's where we stand as of today. Tammy had given me some information that I put in your packets in regards to mode factors, and that has to do with our workman's compensation insurance. The good news is we had a significant drop in our rates. Our mode factor went down from 0.99 to 0.77. That's a big drop in compared to the last 3 years. And that represents about a net savings of $6,300 to the town in our insurance premiums for workman's comp. So that's a good thing, and hopefully we'll keep on the right track in that regards. And really, those are the only communication items I've got for this evening.
Okay. Mr. Elias?
When we went to the county for police coverage, did it drop because of that?
No.
Why wouldn't it?
Because,
Those employees are under the county.
correct, but it's a 3-year look back to figure out your mod
Right.
pronunciation. So that went up considerably because a wreck injury. So if anybody gets injured in wreck, MEW, doesn't make a difference what class it is, all the factors go up.
MEW?
MEW's in our workers' comp, so it's listed on there.
Okay.
So I don't know if we could go back and see what our mod factor was in 2015 and 2014, when we did have our own police department, and then how different
It was
that would be.
lower.
Yeah, I think that really it all has to do with claims. If they never made a claim, then it wouldn't have affected it.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, let's move on. Department head reports.
Start with the road commissioner.
Not a whole lot new since the last time we met, other than everybody's been busy taking care of the ice and the snow. The equipment seems to be running very well. Our employee has been out for quite a while, came back to work today. Everything seems to be working very well. Other than that, that's about it.
Other than that, you got a garage.
I heard that. Since the last time we saw you. I'll be going next time. Any questions?
What's the date on that new vehicle?
I haven't talked to the salesman, but he told me that when they were going to start making it, he was going to get in touch with me. I have not heard anything. I was going to give him a call at the end of January to see how far along they were on it, and they still had a delivery date, whenever it was June, I believe, the end of May.
Okay.
Yep.
No other questions? Next is,
I had a couple of inserts in your packet. Julie submitted a report for 2018 for your information in regards to library activities. A lot of this information goes right into the town report. And you may have noticed that Susan Hathaway, our code enforcement officer, has started sending around a fee schedule, trying to get all of the town's fees onto a one-page document front and back. And this impacts many different areas, the road openings as far as the road commissioner, clerk fees and town office fees, along with building permits and so forth. So right now, this is out for review and information. And I know that she's gotten some feedback from Tammy and from Kathy, and I think Mr. Savage also made some comments on it from code enforcement standpoint. So she's gathering all that, working really closely with the planning board to review the things that impact subdivision and site review and that sort of thing. So she hopes to have it finished and have a final draft to the Board of Selectmen by April, so that this board can review it and get it ready to go to town meeting. The key part on this fee schedule is we're also at the same time working on a lot of ordinances that have old fees in them and trying to remove those fees and change the wording so it refers to the fee schedule, so we can be consistent. And I will say Susan did a lot of work comparing notes with towns a similar size to ours, what their fee structure is, what their code enforcement practices are, so I think she did a lot of good work for that.
Mr. Lyons?
The fact that you said that we're going to take those to town meeting, I thought we were setting those fees.
Right. What we need to have approved by the select board is the fee schedule, so we can change the ordinances to refer to the fee schedule. So we have to have a fee
Okay, I see.
schedule first.
We want to get all the pricing out of the ordinances, right?
Exactly.
For changes that we can do.
Exactly.
Okay, otherwise you gotta go to town meeting every time you need to
Every time
change.
you need to change.
Every time you need to change a dollar figure.
Okay, that's what I thought was working.
Right, you're correct.
Really?
The only other department head report is a multi-page report from Don French for fire activities, not only in December. He also submitted, since you board members are also board members with the Anson Madison Stark's ambulance service, he had some notes in there in regards to the rescue vehicle. And then he had his incident report for 2018, which is all very helpful information. So, I don't know, if you have anything to add, Don, to your, any questions?
Any questions for fire chief? Seeing none, I guess we're all okay with that. We also got a sheriff's office report. Everybody got that? Anybody has any questions on that? See Tim?
It's kind of an amusing read when all these people that get stopped driving without a license. Yeah. I don't get it.
Okay. Item 2, discuss purchase of pickup truck for the fire department.
Don, what'd you find?
2011 Silverado 1500, sitting right over here in the bay, gentlemen. When?
You guys want to go see it?
Yeah?
Okay. Let's adjourn for a minute and go see. Okay, let's come back to order. Don, you have, want to
That
tell us a little bit?
The truck book, the low book was 14.5, high book was the 19.2. Walter said he'd give it to us for 12,000. So I think, I'm not a salesman, but I think it's a pretty good deal as the money part of it.
Any other questions?
Yeah, we're coming up with the money where?
It's a good question. So, in Don's department, there's a couple of different lines, and as we had talked in the last meeting, he did earn some rebates from FEMA for some of the work that was done. So when you total up all that, we can get our hands on about $6,500 cash. So we're about 6,000 shy. And what we were going to recommend is if you allocated about $6,000 to come out of the legal fund that we're using to pay our legal bills for the Madison paper abatement case. If you remember, we took all of the county policing rebate from this year, put it in the legal fund. That was about $77,000 that we put in there. And so we were asking to consider taking 6,000 of that and putting it in an account that Tammy has set up to pay for this truck.
So how much more legal work do we have?
Actually, probably the better question is, what do we have in the account right now?
We have 22,500 left of that money that was sent, given back to us from the sheriff's department.
And that includes a pretty hefty bill that we got in December. We got about an $18,000 bill for all this writing of statements back and forth in December. It really all depends on, it kind of depends on what happens at this hearing before the state board when they deliberate and make a final statement. Hopefully, obviously we're going to pay for an attorney for that day to be there. That's going to be a few $1,000s. There's no real appeals in this process, so we don't anticipate appealing if we feel that we lose. And Madison Paper's not going to appeal if they feel they lost. Looking forward, you still have a Somerset acquisition. The current owners of the mill, there's 2 small abatements there, but nothing to the size of what we've been dealing with, so nothing to the degree of what we've been spending at this point. So really, I don't have a dollar figure answer for you. But
What's the account number in the account when we sell a house, we put?
The foreclosure account, that account, we have 78,500.
So that may be a
That's a cleaner,
better option.
I think that's a better option.
Okay.
You don't know what we're gonna have for legal stuff.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. I think I'd rather hold off on taking money out of legal and if we have it in that house account.
Yeah.
So I think we
Can I make that a motion? Donnie, do you need more than, you planning on buying something else for that truck?
Milt, you know Milty, the guy that works for the Big Apple.
Milk water?
Yeah. He's got a light bar that we was gonna put on the top, possibly said it'd give us a real good deal. I take that right out of my own budget. I wouldn't think it'd be that much. If it's gonna be a lot, I wouldn't get it anyway.
Okay.
Do I need a light bar? I don't know.
And you
I think
have,
it would be,
you're gonna have money left over to do that in your budget?
in my budget, I can just take it out of my equipment line.
Oh,
which would
okay.
be- I'm gonna guess it's not gonna be a lot of money. $100, $200, I don't know.
I think I would make a motion that we take the money to pay for this truck out of that house line, out of the
Foreclosure
house
account.
account, yeah, foreclosure account.
You want to put a dollar figure on it?
Wow, you're gonna need 5,500, right?
Well,
Why don't you just say the balance?
Yeah, the balance of the truck? Yeah.
And I'll document everything where it comes out and I can show you the paperwork.
Where again is the 6,500 coming from?
There's a certain amount of money that we got back from FEMA. There's a certain amount of money that we have left over in emergency management. There's a certain amount of money that we have left over in TIF. And when you add all of those up together, and there was one more.
Yeah, I had
rebate.
1,700 back on the workers' comp.
Yeah, workers' comp rebate. So all 4 of those things, plus we're trying not to rob too much from Don's equipment account. He can leave that to continue out the rest of the budget year.
Now, the only thing we use the 75 grand for is if we tear a house down, right? And then when we sell it at auction, we get that money back.
It goes back in there.
Correct.
It seems to me that's where all the money ought to come from. You know, you're worried about 1,700 for FEMA and this and this and that, just leave that there where it is. and-
So you want to finish your motion?
Well,
I don't know how much we need.
I think he's thinking out loud.
Yeah, I am.
So if you're,
Right now, it seems to be a scratching to get this truck.
right,
We got 75 grand sitting in there, we're doing nothing with it unless we have another house to tear down.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that's just a logical move.
You could, if that's your motion, then if you want to move it that way, then
That is my motion.
okay.
Just scratching around just doesn't
Take
do
the
it.
full balance.
Because if you find out you don't have enough money, you gotta come back here and get more money.
Okay.
Just take it out of there, you write a check to Heights, get it over with.
So your motion is to take.
Take the money out of the
full amount-
house.
Take the full amount of the truck out of the foreclosure.
That's my motion.
You have a motion on the floor to take the full amount of the cost of the truck out of the foreclosure account.
I'll second that with discussion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Mr. Moody?
Donnie, are you gonna let this truck,
Very cheaply. I'm not gonna.
you're gonna put something on it?
Yeah, the leaf lettering is, I just checked, it's like 250 a side,
Yeah.
so I don't think I'd want to spend that much. I think we can get just Madison Fire on it, it'll be Unit 77,
Okay.
so if I can get that.
But you're gonna put something on it?
I'd like to.
To
put something
identify
on
it?
Yes. Yeah.
Right, okay.
And you checked on, did you check on the siren part of it, if we put a light bar on it, do we need a?
No, I forgot about it.
That's fine, we got time, Ron.
I will, I will. Yes.
Question? Dave?
The only question I got is, in your report here, it mentions replacing the rescue. Just as a thought that comes to mind, are we a little ahead of ourselves by getting this truck now and replacing the rescue this year?
This is not the rescue truck,
Well, I mean, if you're replacing the rescue, could you get a truck designed for both purposes or no?
no. I wouldn't want to run, no. We wouldn't want to take our rescue truck to Reliance to take a guy down there and need something up here out of that rescue. Or go to another town, or go to a training somewhere with this pickup truck or whatever we use it for. I don't want to be away from the station with the rescue.
Yeah, there's two different purposes. The rescue vehicle has all the equipment on it at all times. This is more to transport firefighters and their personal gear back and forth to the scene. The other thing I'll add is technically that rescue vehicle does not belong to the town of Madison. It belongs to the Ensign Madison Starks Ambulance Service.
That's kind of to put a bug in George's ear that, hey, this
Right.
truck is 97, and it's getting old.
My ear?
George Dempsey.
George Dempsey.
Oh,
Too many Georges.
So that would be a decision for the Ensign Madison Starks board.
That's it.
So, any other questions?
I guess I have one, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Mr. Vice Chair. What is it gonna cost to get this truck so that you're done with it? I mean, from where you got it now, paying Heights, getting it lettered, bar, light bar, blah, blah, blah.
I think we can go tax exempt on the tax part of
But
it.
there's no sales tax.
Right, so it'd be 12,000 in.
That's correct.
I'm gonna say less than 300 to 500 more. In that ballpark, 3 to 5 more, if that. I don't have to put a light bar on it this year. If Milty wants $1,000 for his light bar or $500, I'm not gonna purchase it. I'll get a little one for $100, put on the dash. But I kinda like the light bar, just because if you take it out on scene somewhere, you can see both ways.
I would just make a recommendation, you have that money from FEMA, so that all the extra equipment and maintenance needs to get done. It's already earmarked for a fire, so why not just use it for that?
Okay.
12.5 would be plenty of money. I can get it done with 12.5.
You have that money anyways. from
Right, so
FEMA.
if I have to take 5 out of FEMA, then I can do that. If that's
So
what
my
I do.
motion for 12, I don't have to put the motion for FEMA money in there, it's going to them anyway?
No, he can use that anyway, it's
Okay.
already
Use that
allocated.
for
So 12 does it.
Incidental things. Yeah.
All right,
Well, out of the house account,
yeah, okay.
So we have a motion to take 12,000 out of the house account, foreclosure account, to buy this truck. No further discussion?
Yes.
Yes,
Did you say 12.5?
No, he's gonna take the FEMA money.
Oh, all right.
could use a
He's
FEMA.
got $1,200.
Just to clarify.
Unless we need a siren on, I don't know, how much would those be? I have no idea. If you had to put, if you've got a light bar on the top, my question to Ron was, or
Yeah.
somebody, do you need a siren in that unit? I don't know.
I don't, the last I knew, Donnie, you don't need a siren, but if you're running lights, people do not have to pull over unless you have both of them going,
Right.
okay? There's no violation
It's a
until
courtesy.
that happens. But,
I just want to be covered, if something happened to us, forbid, something happened, we didn't have the siren on, they didn't have the light on, and
that's not gonna be a vehicle that you use for emergency responding anyways, is it?
it could be. Just an example, the other night, we had a structure fire in North Anson, A couple got in the tanker, a couple got in the rescue, and Jeff Holbrook responded to the station after we left, and he had to come up in the big tanker, because he didn't have any way to get there.
Then if that's the case, then I'm gonna strongly recommend for liability factors that you put a good light bar on the top of that thing.
He's got a wheel on it.
Not just a small one, I'm talking about a box light bar. You know, a long one. Just for liability factors. If you're gonna use that to respond with and what have you here, it's insurance for the town for you to do that.
He's got plenty of money in the FEMA anyway.
Yeah, but
It's not gonna cost
I'm just
a lot.
suggesting that be done.
I think
Yeah.
I think also we'll ask for you guys is the 12,000, take it out of that house account.
You okay?
I can work with Tammy and Tim on what little bit more we might need from FEMA.
Okay. Any other further discussion? Well set? Since you're ready to vote, all those in favor? All in favor, please vote. Excellent.
Thank you, gentlemen.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Don.
It's here to use if you want.
What's that?
It's here if you want to use it.
Okay, item 3, discuss vacancy on Madison Electric Works Board of Directors. Mr. Town Manager.
Yes, as the board is aware, with Dennis Wright's passing, there's a vacancy on the MEW board. Taylor Wright, who's here tonight, has offered to fill in for that vacancy. That has been approved and recommended by the Madison Electric Works Board. By their charter, it comes back to this board to appoint someone to fill that term. And Dennis's term was due to run out in 2019 anyhow, so it's just a few more months until papers have to be taken out for it. So the recommendation from MEW is to appoint Taylor Wright to fill that vacancy.
Gentlemen?
Do you know of any other people that may want this? Anyone showed interest?
We did get a call from one individual, but when that individual's name and Taylor's name was brought to MEW, Taylor was the one they chose.
There really is no urgency to, I mean, she's gonna have to take up papers in 2 months.
Well, that's the process, right? I'm just bringing to this board what the MEW board has.
I know that in the past, us selectmen, we've worked with 4 people for almost a year. I mean, we didn't have anybody, we didn't call a special town meeting or a special vote. I mean, I don't see this as being a rush. I just do not recommend somebody for them, let the voting process take over. I mean, that's my view. I mean, these guys can do what they want. I mean, if it was, you know, if Dennis had 2.5 years left, that'd be one thing.
Well, even if.
Oh, she still has, no, I think she fills out his term.
Even if that
1 year?
term, no, even if that term, even if he had 2 more years left, it still would only go, you'd only appoint until this June. And in June, that, somebody would have to take out papers to finish the rest of the term.
She gotta take up papers in March anyway, right?
And
Right.
somebody would have to do it.
Even if we appoint.
Yeah. for the-
That's what I would do. It's up to you guys up here.
Anybody else have any comment, question?
The only thing I would say, and again, this is relayed to me by Steve Dean, the chair of the MEW board, one of their board members works shift work and is not always able to attend meetings. So if they, just like this board, if you don't have 3, you can't have a meeting, you don't have a quorum. And another one of their board members is considering another job that may take him off the board. So that,
Within 5 months?
yeah, within a month, yes. So that was the reason to have the vacancy filled, because I believe that initially, Steve and the rest of the MEW board agreed with you that you're gonna have to take out papers in a few months, so what's the big deal? However, remember, they still have to hire a superintendent, because their superintendent that they had to replace Calvin has resigned, and so Calvin is now in retirement but still doing the job, and they are in the process of taking applications through Monday, the 21st, and then after that, they go through the interview process. So they'll be having several meetings between now and, April.
Yeah,
So the recommendation came from MEW's board
Yes,
asking us to appoint Taylor to the
Yes.
vacant
to
position.
that position, right?
So what's your pleasure?
I'll make a motion to appoint Taylor.
Okay. We have a motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, so a motion and a second to appoint Taylor to fill the remaining term on the MEW board. Any other questions, comments, discussion?
I did want to let you know that I am gonna fill this spot, but I'm gonna run again. So it's not like I'm just filling a spot and then I'm done. I will be running again.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? We have a motion on the floor to appoint Taylor Wright to fulfill the remaining term of her father at the MEW board. All those in favor? All in favor? Vote.
Thank you. There is a signature page. Catch you while you're right here.
All right, while you're signing that, 6-month municipal budget review.
This would be a pretty quick review, no action is needed by the board. Thank you, Don.
Thank you, Don.
Just wanted to bring your attention to where we are in our fiscal year through the end of December. If you look at the landscape page first, this is our revenues year to date. I did want to touch on something on that particular page. The top line is the top. Ooh, make sure we get Kathy on camera. She's gonna get sweared at right now. So, the very top line are the revenue totals. That includes what we receive from excise taxes, vehicle registrations. So as you can see, our budget for the year was $985,000. We're taking in about 536, so we're about 54.5%. So we're on track for that. Most of our other revenues we're on track for. The second line down is revenue sharing. I wanted to bring this to your attention because I have some historical data there. 2016-17, our revenue sharing was $280,000, then went to $296,000. The current year we're in right now is just a shade under $340,000, and the state pays that faithfully every month. With a new administration and a new legislation, there is going to be a lot of talk about raising revenue sharing back to the original 5% that municipalities were supposed to get. The previous administration reduced that from 5% down to 2%. So that's why for the last 7 or 8 years, we've been getting a much lower amount of revenue sharing from the state. This is a pretty big deal for most of the municipalities. This will be a big deal for the new governor's budget, because to restore that back up to 5% and to do it right away is going to cost about $170 million for the entire state. So I just want you to be aware of that there's a lot of hope amongst municipalities that the new governor will restore it, but if the new governor has to fund a lot of different things, it may or may not happen. If it does, and this is really wishful thinking, but if it does get restored to 5%, we could be looking at taking in several $100,000 more in revenue from the state. So it's something that a lot of municipalities are talking about.
Tim, is this something that they're shooting for 5 and hoping for 3?
That's a possibility, because there's going to be several bills that are introduced, and ultimately it has to be in the governor's budget. So we won't really know where it lands until that budget ends in June.
Whatever the increase is, it's going to benefit us anyway.
That's true. It's highly unlikely it'll go away, although the previous administration, the previous governor wanted to bring it to 0. So, So overall revenues are right where they should be. The next two pages are your expenses, article by article. And again, most everything is right where it should be midway through the year at 50% spent. Overall, our total budget is spent at, including the school and the county, about 55%. And that's right where we should be. So I didn't know if the board had any questions on that.
Any questions? Seeing none, we can move on. Item 5, discuss waste management costs.
And again, this is the last spreadsheet that was in your packet. This is purely for your information. We're just watching some trends now with our waste management costs, because things are changing rapidly in the waste management world. I don't know if you're aware of the changes of the costs of recycling. Many towns are looking at this because you used to be able to get money for your cardboard. That's gone away. We don't get money for cardboard anymore. We get chargebacks on recycling now. If waste management gets what they consider contaminated recycling, which is maybe plastic or glass that has food particles in it, or maybe somebody's thrown something in there like the plastic bags you get at the store that aren't recyclable anymore. Now when they send those down to EcoMaine kicks them back and charges them a fee. They turn around and pass that fee right back to the town. So what we're seeing here is on this sheet, 2016, 17, and 18 costs, total costs. This is not just recycling. This has to do with everything that goes to the front gate, everything that goes to the back gate. When you add it all up, we've gone from spending $194,000, $197,000, 2010, and I'm trending that we're going to end this year at about $230,000 to $240,000, just because our costs are rising in that. I just wanted to bring that to the board's attention as we go into the budget session in the next couple of months. I didn't know if anybody had any questions on that.
Mr. Lodge?
On the bottom, you've got 20,000 with penalty. How do we know what the penalty is gonna be?
These are all, the bottom figures are all trending. They assess our penalty every month. And going back for the last 6 months, they just started this penalty about April or May of 2018. So the average has been about $1,500 in penalties that we pay each month for contaminated recycling.
Now, let me get this straight in my simple little mind.
Here we go, yeah.
This penalty is probably charged to every town that goes down there.
Correct,
So they take what they got kicked back and they just average it out through the town.
correct.
So if we send down 0 recycling, we'll get no penalty.
Nope.
If we send down 0 recycling, we can't be penalized for something we didn't send.
So we get charged for recycling in 2 different ways. And remember, recycling used to be free. Then it went to $25 a ton. Now we pay $40 a ton plus the penalty. This includes both the recycling that you pay Somerset Disposal to come pick up at your house and take down. And it also includes the recycling that you may take to the back gate yourself and dump in that little recycling bin. So there's 2 different ways. So if we were to say, okay, no more picking up recycling, which is hard for us to do because that's a private business that's doing that, or we were to say, no more taking recycling to the back gate, we really can't police it. We can't stop it.
This is a way for waste management to make money.
Well,
That's all I see.
but unfortunately, we're in a contract. We're in a 5-year contract with Waste Management. That's why I wanted to bring it to your attention.
I don't know how you budget for that stuff.
I'll just remind the board of recommendations that the recycling committee has made over the years. And there's two options. One is that you close the back gate entirely to the residents of Madison, so they can't use it. Or the other is you stop paying the tipping fees to the commercial haulers that take from Madison to the front gate, and allow those contractors to figure out how they want to adjust their fees to the customers. And
So
neither of those are pleasant options.
So you're gonna pick on the commercial accounts, but not the municipal accounts. So if I have,
They're both municipal accounts right now.
no, municipal's paying for everything,
That's right.
which we pay for on our taxes.
That's correct.
So if we take that away from them, I'm paying something in my taxes for something I'm not getting. They're done.
If you take away the back gate. Is that what you're referring to? You take away access to the back gate?
No, if you take away, if my business has to pay to have my trash hauled per ton, I'm paying taxes to the town.
You wouldn't be paying taxes to the town to pay the commercial tipping fees if we took that away. And according to this, it would save you about $100,000 a year in your taxes. You, the businessman, would now be paying whatever a month to take your trash away, plus whatever your hauler adjusts that to cover them paying the tipping fees.
See, and that's another ripoff. How do they weigh each container that they dump? I've got a 2-yard container half full. I'm gonna pay for whatever a 2-yard container weighs when he goes to that dump.
Your hauler is gonna have to figure out, if you're paying $40 a month now you're gonna have to pay $50 a month.
Yeah, but you're missing what I'm saying. If he comes to me and empties a half-full dumpster, because I remember when I had waste management, okay, I had a 2-yard dump, and I still do have a 2-yard dumpster. The guy would come, dump my dumpster, and mark down in a book. He dumped my 2-yard dumpster. I could have had one bag in there.
Right.
So what he does is he averages his load out.
Yeah.
They know what a 2-yard dumpster will hold on average. So what I'm saying is I'm gonna pay for everybody else that has a full or overfull dumpster when they average it out, the load. That's what I'm saying. When they take the whole truck down from Madison, there's no averaging it out, it's all Madison people.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. We're getting paid for what we bring down there.
But as you know, and as has been historically proven in the past, you don't always know if Madison's getting charged for Madison trash.
Right.
I know that. And another thing, the back gate, I've been always in favor of shutting that down. If I go down there with one bag, I get a slash against Madison.
Yeah.
Anson goes down there with a truckload, they get one slash.
Right.
Guess what? We pay.
Right.
That's an unfair way to do business down there in the back gate.
Yeah.
I know it's inconvenient for people, but you know what? If you want to make commercial haulers pay, if I get a load of bulky waste that's going down there, I pay there. Let me pay for that as I go down. Right?
Mhm.
That's the fairest way. Drive your truck over that scale and go in and pay. You know, there's really no fair way to do it, really. With just here, $20,000. That's just a gimme for waste management as far as I'm concerned.
Just letting the board know, that's the contract that we're in now.
I guess I didn't know about this penalty business.
And in fact, when we signed the contract, the penalty wasn't enforced, it came after the fact.
Yeah, you're right.
Is there anything that we can do to mitigate that penalty? I mean, the private hauler is hauling that stuff. I mean, I know for a fact that when they pick up my recycling, it all goes into the same bucket, and they just take it over there. So, you know, and I pay them to pick it up, because I thought it was the right thing to do, I
Right.
still separate it and all the rest of that stuff. But if the private hauler is taking stuff over there that we're getting penalized for, then we either need to stop that, or have a conversation with them and say, look, if we get a penalty, you're paying it.
Yeah. I'd have to have a conversation with Waste Management to see how accurately they track the penalty. What load does?
I'd like to see you do that, is find out how they're coming across with that penalty. And if, because I think when the average Joe public takes his recycling over there on Saturday morning in the back gate, they tell him, you put that there, you put that there.
Yeah.
I think your penalty's coming from, they're running around grabbing those blue buckets and dumping them all into that, whatever's in the blue bucket goes into the hopper in the back of that truck, and they take it over there and dump it.
But Jack, that's what they call single stream recycling, which is what we have.
Right.
But that's where your penalty's coming from, because they're taking that stuff away, somebody's sorting it, and you're getting this $1,500 a month penalty.
They're sorting it.
Now, Waste Management doesn't sort it. Waste Management
Right.
puts it all in a bin, everything together. They put it on a truck and send it down to Eco Maine. Eco Maine's the one that sorts it.
And they're the ones that send the
That's where
penalty.
the penalties come from.
And how is Waste Management supposed to track where that particular,
And that's the thing.
that's what they're gonna tell you.
I'm gonna talk to them more about it, the process, but I agree, I see what's coming.
Mr. Dushan's right, it's either that or don't have it at all.
Yeah.
Throw it right in the back of the truck, put it in the trash. People are gonna hate that, but you know what? 20 grand is it's just a thank you guys for the extra money.
Well, again, they're telling us it's a pass-through because they're paying that to Eco.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it's a pass.
How many municipalities are paying tipping fees on front page?
Well, I know Madison is, I know Anson is. Beyond that, Solon has their own transfer stations, Skowhegan has their own. Of course, Norwich Walk, you can't compare that. So you have to kind of get outside the area to get an idea.
It would just be something worth looking into to find out, you know, because that, like you, I've always felt like, why do we pay those tipping fees? That's just,
That back gate's terrible.
you know,
What's that, 50 grand?
The back gate.
oh, I'd rather get rid of the tipping fees on the front gate and keep the back gate open. I mean, it's cheaper.
The front gate costs us $115,000 a year, the back gate costs us $80,000 a year.
Yeah, and if you close the front gate down to commercial haulers hauling that trash, what's the back gate gonna look like? You're gonna spend it either way, Jack. The back gate is unfair because, like I said, if I put a bag in, and if somebody from Anson brings a truckload down, that's one slash. I mean, one is one bag against a truckload. So that's how they average it out.
Yeah, the system is just broken.
Yeah, no kidding. It's always broke.
That's why I like bringing it up every year.
Just to round everybody up, right? Okay. Any other further discussion of waste management costs? All right, let's move along. Selectmen's concerns, Mr. Moody,
None, sir.
Mr. Elias.
Yeah, I got $20,000 concern, but I'll wait on it.
Just let it go.
I am.
Just let it go, George,
For now.
for now.
None.
I am.
Mrs. Savage, none for me. Any citizens concerned? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to go into executive session to discuss economic development matter pursuant to 1 MRSA 4056C.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor? All in favor, we'll go into executive session at 7:16,
16, 18.